Welcome to episode 9 of Coffee with Kelsey. In today's episode, we're discussing the question, what is a growth mindset? This podcast is brought to you by ballroomdancecoach.com, 7-time award-winning instruction helping dancers of all levels maximize their progress and express themselves on the dance floor. I'm so glad you're joining me today. Grab your coffee and let's dive in. Welcome everyone to the first podcast episode of 2024. Happy New Year. I'm so glad that you're joining me today. And this week I had a very, very interesting conversation with a group of other entrepreneurs and other business professionals that I network with. And we were discussing the topic of mindset and growth mindset. And I thought, wow, this is such a great topic. And it also reminded me of like this very cool graphic that I had found a few years ago, and I have it on Instagram. I'll put it in my stories so you can take a look at it if you go check out my Instagram. It's Kelsey Kazina, just my name, just so you can check that out. And it really got me thinking. It's so easy to stay in our comfort zone and to even, almost trick ourselves into thinking that we're not there when we're staying there. And and in order to grow and in order to get better, we need to step outside of that. And it was a really, really great conversation and a really good reminder of what kind of actions and what kind of steps you need to take to really go for whatever it is that you are really after this year and well beyond this year. So I wanted to share some of my thoughts. What is a growth mindset and what stages do you need to go through to get there? I find that a growth mindset is where you find your purpose, where you live your dreams, are able to set new huge, incredible goals, and also to conquer other objectives. You're able to move farther and go farther past to set even bigger goals for yourself. We all start in our coveted, a very comfortable comfort zone where we feel very safe and in control. And it can be very difficult to leave that space. It can be difficult to step out of that comfort zone because it's called comfort for a reason. We like it there. It's easy there, but if we don't step outside of that, then it's never going to move forward. There's one thing about feeling comfortable, and I hear this a lot from people. Well, I just want to be comfortable. But what that means to one person could be vastly different to the next, or someone else, or in an entire room. Everyone can have a different opinion of what comfort means to them. Stepping out of the comfort zone, it can be scary. That's where you enter the fear zone, where you have a lack of self-confidence, you find excuses all the time, and you're affected by others' opinions. And we've all been there. I know that I have been there. Those moments whenever I really want to step outside and I want to grow, and it is so difficult to get out of my head because I'm thinking about what everyone else is thinking about me, even though probably most of the time nobody cares, that it's literally just in my head. So, and I think of times back in New York, actually, where, the group of dancers that we were around, they were extraordinary. Some of the top dancers in the world. And, in the beginning, it was extremely, extremely intimidating for me to be there because I felt sometimes like I wasn't even supposed to be there, but when, my coach was really great and, she recognized that and she said, you're here for a reason. Like nothing in life happens by accident or happenstance. You got here for a reason. We're here in this lesson for a reason. And you have to push yourself past that fear and past that everyone is thinking about me, or I can't do this or I can't do that stage to be able to grow. And this was a really, really important conversation. And it made me realize I have to just forget about who else is around and just go and do what I need to do. The good news is when you finally get past that fear zone, you enter your learning zone. That's whenever you're able to deal with challenges and problems and acquire new skills and extend your comfort zone. So this is a really important reset moment. To be able to really start acquiring a new skill or actually learn and develop, you have to enter that learning zone. Your learning zone actually will end up creating a new comfort zone for you. So I've found for myself that I needed to go back through those stages again. And when I look back and I see that, it's like, yeah, I really had to do that. I had to do it several times until I was able to move to that next stage. That next stage being the growth zone. And that's where you really find your purpose, live your dreams. You can set even newer, bigger goals and conquer objectives that you have set for yourself. Change isn't comfortable. Change is very uncomfortable. We like to stay naturally in our comfort zones, but if you don't get out of your comfort zone, trust me, nothing will happen. You'll always think of, I wonder if, and for me, I find that saying, oh, I wonder if I would have done that. I wonder if I would have done this, what would have happened? Personally, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be thinking this. I want to know that I really went for it and just satisfied with not wondering what if I would have done that when I was younger, whenever I was, whatever, So change is uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Your entire life can really change in a year. You just have to love yourself enough to know that you deserve more. Be brave enough to demand more, and be disciplined enough to work for it. Stay within your comfort zone and keep hoping, wishing, and dreaming, or take a step into the unknown and create your own version of how you want your life to look. It really is that simple. And yeah, I know, much easier said than done. Of course, we all have our struggles and our own way of going about things and going about life. And really, this isn't just a philosophy for dancing. This is life in general. And hopefully you can use some of that for your dancing just to help yourself grow. But it really can be applied to anything. It's just an important thing to remember. It's okay for you to think bigger. It's okay for you to want to grow and get better. You can do it. This is a brand new year with new opportunities and new ways for us to grow. And I can't wait to see your growth in 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today for Coffee with Kelsey, brought to you by ballroomdancecoach.com. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you know when the next episode is released, and I'll see you next time.